Kickoffs. The one true 50-50. Why do we lose so many games to lucky kickoff goals? Well, there's a really simple answer to that, and the answer is... we don't. So in this video, we're going to tell you how to make your kickoffs better. I've seen a number of kickoff tutorials on YouTube and I feel like a lot of them miss out on some really important points. So here we're going to show you how to improve your kickoff specifically. And of course, everything I bring up in this video is mostly aimed at the majority of players. If you are in the top 1% of 1v1 players, I'm not quite sure why you're watching this. Your kickoffs are probably brilliant already. And if you haven't learned speed flip, go do that instead, because if you master that, then that's probably all you can do at this point. But you won't find that in this video. What you'll find here are the key elements to what makes a kickoff good. So when it comes to kickoffs, the first word you really need to remove from your vocabulary is luck. There is absolutely nothing lucky about kickoffs, or any other 50-50 for that matter. You're either good at them, or you're not. So before you start getting angry and typing about how lucky 50-50s are in the comments, stop, delete your text, and say something nice about how pretty my car looks instead. By the way guys, if you enjoy this video or any other videos of mine, please do hit the like and subscribe buttons, as it really helps getting my content out there to more people. We also have a creator code that you can use in the Rocket League item shop if you want to support me further. Please use code GOLDFISH in there to do so. Anyway, the most important thing when it comes to a kickoff is control. A lot of people will tell you how to do a kickoff and which way they think is the best kickoff, etc. And to a certain degree, some of those people are right. There are certain kickoff techniques that are more effective than others in certain situations. However, if you are not in complete control of your kickoff, then you're never going to be able to win the kickoff every time. One of, if not the best 1v1 player in the world, Fairy Peak, has said in the past that the most important thing is not to win the kickoff, it is only important that you don't lose your kickoff. And this is what I mean about control. If you have a super fast speed flip kickoff that you can pull off correctly about 46% of the time, then you're not in full control. And by all means, continue to practice that kickoff, it is really effective, but if you want to win the game, you want to make sure that your kickoffs are consistent. And speaking of consistency, a man who very few people would have expected me to hear praising in a kickoff video is Jon Sandman. Jon's kickoff is something quite of a marvel. It's nothing fancy, he doesn't utilise a flip to get to the ball quicker, but what he does do is hit the ball consistently, and he almost never concedes directly from a kickoff. I honestly can't recall a time seeing him concede directly from a kickoff. I'm sure it's happened, but I've not seen one in a very long time, if ever, and I've watched a fair bit of his content. His signature slap butt kickoff style has become somewhat of a meme in his community, but it's a highly effective technique that allows him to get the ball to his teammate, and it absolutely epitomizes what Fairy Peak said about not losing kickoffs. Now in saying that, if I were to recommend a kickoff style for you to use, probably would not be Jon's kickoff. We'll get into that later. When it comes to actually taking the kickoff, there is one thing nearly everyone's kickoff tutorials will tell you that you need to do, and that is that you need to strike the ball dead center. And this really cannot be stressed enough. This is how you maintain that control of which I mentioned earlier. We will see with Jon's kickoff that he is always striking the center of the ball. It's just usually we would encourage people to strike it with their nose, whereas he strikes it with the side or the roof of his car and usually gets it out to a teammate. The reason you should be striking the center of the ball is that you will be essentially pinching this ball with your opponent. And when you pinch, the ball will take the path of least resistance. So by occupying the space dead center, you are ensuring that the ball does not go over you or under you, and if the opponent does the same, then you're going to stop the ball dead. If they are not striking the ball dead center, then the chances are you are going to win this kickoff because the ball will squeeze out into the space that they've left open. And at the risk of flogging a dead horse here, in the case of Jon Sandman, what he usually does is creates this path of least resistance on the angle he strikes the ball. This allows him to control the direction of the ball back to his teammate. However, this technique can be quite dangerous when solo queuing, because if your teammate moves up into the midfield, which is known as cheating up, it's going to be hard for them to get back in time to deal with it. which is another reason why I don't particularly recommend Jon's kickoff, but you could do a lot worse, as I said earlier. When it comes to my recommendation for a kickoff, I would always recommend incorporating a flip into your run-up to kickoff. Whether that's a front flip, diagonal flip, or speed flip, I will leave entirely up to you, as what's most important is that you feel comfortable and in control. The reason that you should flip in your run-up is that it enables you to get to supersonic speed without using all of your boost, so that when you have made contact with the ball, you still have some boost in reserve for recovery. When it comes to timing your flip and boost, it's more of a feel thing. You will just need to continue to practice this flip mechanic until you start seeing the benefits to get the timing nailed. But as a general guideline, in most cases you should flip when you are driving over the first boost pad, except for when you are the furthest back kickoff spawn, when it's probably somewhere in between the first and second boost pads. And one final thing to pay attention to during your kickoffs is of course your opponent's position and their angle of approach to the ball. You need to see what they are doing during the kickoff so that you can position yourself accordingly. Occasionally, you'll see an opponent mess up their kickoff or not go at all, or maybe even fake a kickoff, and it's at these crucial points that you can take advantage of a game, as it puts them on the back foot straight away and you hold all the power in the palm of your hands. So as a quick explanation of what I do during my kickoff, which you'll be seeing on screen now, is I turn ever so slightly to the side so that when I drive through the boost, it sets up a nice diagonal flip that will get me to land in a central position so that I am able to jump again and hit the ball in that sweet spot, dead center. I then wait for the contact to use my second jump and dodge through the ball based on the approach that my opponent has taken. This allows me to push the ball past my opponent, winning the kickoff. And I think in this game I've won about 90% of the kickoffs in it. As with anything else in this game, your kickoff will need to be quite fluid and adaptable based on your opponent. If your opponent is utilizing a speed flip kickoff, then unless you also know the speed flip kickoff, then you will probably not beat them using your usual kickoff routine. So you will need to adapt your kickoff. When you come up against someone who is beating you on kickoff, whether it's with a speed flip or another fast kickoff technique, watch the goal replay, see how they are beating you, and then when you spawn for the next kickoff, do something a bit different to try and adapt to what they did. If they are speed flipping and pushing the ball over your head, try faking the kickoff. If they're getting it to the side, try flipping to the side before making contact, just so that you can read it and try and take control. And with all that said, that'll conclude this video. I hope this was helpful and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please do hit the like and subscribe button. Like I said earlier, it really does help a lot. And thank you all for all the feedback on my videos. I really appreciate all your comments and enjoy interacting with you guys. And if you want to chat any more, then feel free to join me on streams. I stream every Wednesday, Friday and Sunday over on Twitch, and there's a link to that along with all my other socials in the description below. So thanks again, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!